Debbie Ocean, younger sister of the infamous Danny Ocean, is granted parole. A prison staff member reminds her how fortunate she is, but warns that she must avoid anyone with a criminal record, most of her friends and family included. Debbie admits she isn't proud of her past, but insists she wants to change. Unlike her late brother, a natural con artist, she claims she only got involved in crime because of a bad relationship. Now, she just wants to be free and live a simple life. Of smoking them. Once in the city, Debbie heads to an upscale perfume store. With no money, she devises a quick scam, selecting luxury cosmetics and attempting to return them. When the cashier asks for a receipt, she insists the products are unopened. The employee refuses the return without proof of purchase, so Debbie acts resigned, agreeing to keep the items but demanding a branded shopping bag as compensation. Next, Debbie targets a high-end hotel. She watches a couple check out, then swiftly enters their vacated room. Posing as a guest, she calls the front desk, claiming her flight was canceled and asking for a room for the night. The receptionist, unaware of the deception, kindly offers her the same room, even suggesting it can be cleaned if needed. Debbie effortlessly secures a free stay at the hotel. Meanwhile, her old friend Lou Miller, who runs a shady nightclub and profits from small-time scams like selling watered-down vodka, receives a text from Debbie asking to meet at the cemetery. At the cemetery, Debbie visits her brother Danny's grave, where she encounters Ruben, an old acquaintance of his. Ruben warns her that Danny wouldn't want her getting involved in another scheme, as it could land her back in prison. Debbie thanks him, assuring him she'll never go back to jail. As she leaves, Lou arrives, and the two women embrace, overjoyed to reunite. Without wasting time, Debbie dives into the plan she's been plotting since prison. She asks Lou if she secured the loan she requested, but Lou wants details about the heist first. Debbie reveals they are targeting Elizabeth Taylor's $150 million necklace, currently secured in a heavily protected vault. When Lou questions how they'll retrieve it, Debbie confidently replies that it will be delivered right into their hands. Lou takes Debbie to her so-called home, which is more of a rundown bar. Surprised by the state of it, Debbie listens as Lou explains that she kept all of Debbie's belongings in a room upstairs. After changing, Debbie heads to the art gallery of her ex-boyfriend, Claude Becker, the man who betrayed her and got her arrested. Facing Claude, Debbie reminds him of his betrayal, subtly threatening him. When he claims he'll call the police, she sarcastically responds that she wouldn't expect anything less from him. Before leaving, she ominously snips a button off his shirt, leaving him unsettled. With that out of the way, Debbie and Lou start meticulously planning their heist. Debbie originally considered robbing a bank, but soon realized a bigger opportunity, New York's prestigious Metropolitan Museum. Lou warns that pulling off a museum job is incredibly difficult, but Debbie clarifies that they don't need to steal from the museum itself, just from someone inside it. Lou estimates they need 20 people and at least $500,000 to pull it off. Debbie, however, insists they only need 7 people and $20,000 based on her calculations. She then explains that the Met hosts an annual press conference before its big exhibition, followed by a grand reception featuring a celebrity host. This year, the honor goes to famous actress Daphne Kruger, but the team isn't after her. They need her fashion designer. The perfect candidate for the job is Rose Weil, an Irish designer who once enjoyed fame but is now drowning in debt, owing $5 million in taxes. With her assets frozen, home seized, and passport revoked, she's hit rock bottom. Desperate for a comeback, she even took out a loan to fund a new fashion show. Predictably, the show is a disaster. When Debbie and Lou track Rose down, they find her drowning her sorrows, devouring Nutella straight from the jar. Debbie and Lou introduce themselves as Rose's admirers while she laments her misfortunes. They reassure her and present a way out of her troubles, designing an outfit for Daphne Kruger for the upcoming ball. Rose hesitates, unsure of what to choose, but they assure her that the dress isn't the priority, the necklace is. When Rose expresses skepticism, Lou stresses that the diamond necklace weighing 3 kilograms and valued at $150 million is the real focus. Rose's primary task is to become Daphne's designer and convince her to wear the necklace. If Daphne requests it herself, no one will refuse. Debbie recruits her old friend Amita, a skilled jeweler, as the next team member. While strolling together, Debbie offers her a job and asks how long it would take to craft 7 pieces of jewelry from cut stones. Amita estimates 5 to 6 hours. Debbie then asks how much faster she'd work if it meant she'd never have to live with her mother again. Without hesitation, Amita responds that in that case, she'd finish much faster. Another crucial addition to the team is Nine, an expert hacker. As soon as they meet, Nine effortlessly hacks into the Met's surveillance system and criticizes Debbie's lack of digital awareness, proving she had already tracked her down. Debbie acknowledges that anyone planning a serious heist shouldn't leave such an obvious digital footprint. Impressed, she asks Nine if she can erase her online trail. Debbie and Lou take Rose to a high-profile meeting with movie star Penelope Stern, whom Daphne Kruger envies. The plan is to leak news of the meeting, making Daphne eager to work with Rose. As anticipated, Daphne is furious at her assistant for failing to introduce her to the renowned designer and demands an immediate meeting. Lou and Debbie advise Rose to act indifferent during the meeting, showing little interest in Daphne to make her want the partnership even more. However, when Rose finally meets Daphne, she becomes nervous and starts making mistakes. To help Rose appear indifferent, Lou and Debbie distract her from outside the window. As Daphne showers her with praise, Rose keeps losing focus. Frustrated, Daphne starts getting irritated, and Lou and Debbie quickly disappear from view. With the distractions gone, Rose regains composure, and Daphne directly asks her to design her outfit for the Met Gala. Rose accepts without hesitation. Debbie and Lou then explore New York's back alleys in search of Constance, a quick-witted street hustler. After observing her successfully con an unsuspecting passerby, they invite her to grab a meal at a budget diner. Intrigued by their proposal, Constance readily agrees and prepares to leave, only for Debbie to request her stolen watch back before she goes. Next, they approach Tammy, a seasoned kleptomaniac who has transformed her garage into a storage facility for stolen goods. Tammy insists she has left that life behind to focus on her family. However, when she hears the potential payout, she seriously reconsiders her stance. With the team assembled, the women gather at Lou's hideout, where Debbie presents the plan. She reveals that in just 5 weeks, each of them could walk away with $16.5 million. In 3.5 weeks, the Metropolitan Museum of Art will host its annual gala for a new exhibition. That night, they will steal Cartier's $150 million diamond necklace, which will be worn by Daphne Kruger, whose stylist, conveniently, will be Rose. Their mission includes retrieving the necklace from the vault, bypassing the museum's security system, and blending in seamlessly with the high-profile crowd, making themselves appear just as important as the actual guests. Before executing their ambitious heist, the team members handle their personal affairs. Debbie pulls off another con to secure a loan, while Tammy devises a clever excuse to send her kids on an extended trip. In reality, she uses the opportunity to order a high-tech 3D printer, along with advanced scanning glasses. These glasses will create a precise digital replica of the necklace, allowing the printer to produce a near-identical zirconia copy. Meanwhile, Rose and Amita visit Cartier to negotiate borrowing the necklace for Daphne Kruger. Initially, their request is denied, as the necklace is highly valuable and can only be loaned with an extensive security entourage, an expensive and inconvenient condition. However, Rose skillfully persuades the staff, pointing out that Cartier's reputation is fading among younger generations. She argues that their exclusive pieces remain locked away, unseen, causing the brand to lose relevance. If Daphne Kruger wears their most exquisite jewelry at the gala, it will generate significant publicity. Impressed by Rose's pitch, Cartier's staff reconsiders. They escort Rose and Amita to the vault, where they are finally granted a close-up view of the coveted necklace. Rose puts on the special glasses, but the weak signal in the vault prevents them from scanning the necklace. Frustrated, she hesitates, but Amita quickly comes up with a solution, suggesting they take the necklace upstairs to examine it under natural light. The staff agrees and moves the necklace to a room with better lighting. Here, the glasses start scanning, but the process is slow. As the employees begin to grow impatient, Amita explains that Rose needs to study the necklace for inspiration, just as their nerves peak. The scan completes successfully, sending a perfect digital image to their excited teammates. The 3D printer then produces an identical replica of the necklace. Next, the team assesses the museum's security system. While Tammy distracts a security guard inside the Met's art gallery, Debbie pulls off a clever stunt. She pretends to donate a lost painting by the renowned artist Banksy. The unexpected appearance of the artwork sparks a media frenzy, with museum officials criticizing the security agency for its oversight. A security agency representative defends their protocols, pointing out that they prioritize preventing theft rather than screening what enters the museum. Seizing the opportunity, Constance deliberately bumps into one of the security officers, discreetly stealing his access pass. She swiftly hands it to Nine, who, posing as a janitor, sneaks into the security office during a board meeting and plants a listening device inside a trash can. With their stunt causing changes in security measures, the team sees an opportunity to modify the system further. Surveillance cameras cover almost every inch of the museum, except for one key location, the restroom, where cameras are legally prohibited. The team decides to stage the swap there, but a challenge remains. A camera is positioned outside the restroom, meaning anyone leaving would be an immediate suspect. To avoid suspicion, they plan to use a courier to transport the necklace unnoticed. However, for this to work, they must first create a blind spot, which requires subtly shifting the camera's position. The entire setup is expected to take a few days. When Amita asks how long Debbie has been planning this, Debbie wryly responds, years, months, and days. Lou then informs Debbie that Cartier has hired elite security personnel to guard the necklace. Among them are Guillermo de Vito, the Pope's personal bodyguard, and Yuri Yeshil, a former Mossad secret agent. Their presence raises the stakes significantly, making the heist even more challenging. Meanwhile, 9 infiltrates the security agency's website, gaining access to employee records at the Met. She then locates Paul Dominion, the department head, on Facebook and discovers his fondness for Wheaton Terriers. Using a photo editor, she quickly designs a collage of adorable dogs and sends it to his personal messages. When Paul opens the message, he unknowingly grants 9 remote access to his laptop. Watching him smile fondly at the images, 9 briefly feels guilty for exploiting his love for dogs. 9 gains full access to the museum's surveillance system and subtly shifts the image from the right camera bit by bit, eventually creating a blind spot. Meanwhile, Tammy lands a temporary job at Vogue magazine after an employee assigned to cover the museum reception falls ill. This unexpected opportunity grants her access to the confidential seating chart, which she quickly scans using her high-tech glasses. The team soon discovers that Daphne has not yet chosen a date, leaving one seat beside her unassigned. Coincidentally, Debbie's ex-boyfriend Claude Becker is listed as a +1 guest. Before the ball, an exclusive dinner is held where Daphne and Claude are seated together, allowing them to strike up a conversation. Tammy reports this development to Debbie and later questions how she ever found Claude attractive. Debbie recalls that she met Claude after a falling out with Lou, during which she decided to pull off a big solo con. A decade ago, then, a mutual acquaintance introduced Debbie to Claude, an art dealer, and they devised a simple scheme. When someone showed interest in a painting, Debbie would pose as a competing buyer to inflate the price. The money was good, and that's how their relationship began. One day, Claude asked Debbie to take on the role of the seller rather than the buyer. She was responsible for handling the paperwork and receiving the payment, but it turned out to be a setup. Since all the documents bore her signature, not his, Debbie took the fall and ended up in prison. Now aware of the full story, Lou confronts Debbie, accusing her of deliberately drawing Claude to the event for revenge. She warns Debbie against letting personal vendettas interfere with such a critical mission, emphasizing that emotions have no place in their plan. As the final preparations continue, Lou, 9, and Debbie inspect the newly created blind spot near the restroom, ensuring everything is in place. Meanwhile, Tammy arranges for a personal nutritionist to be present at the event. The team also collects their custom-ordered evening gowns, ensuring they blend in seamlessly with the glamorous crowd. Rose orchestrates a fitting session for Daphne, during which the necklace is delivered inside a secure case. However, a complication arises. While Daphne can put on the necklace with ease, removing it requires a specialized magnetic key. Rose asks the guard to repeat the unlocking process and secretly records it on her smartphone. After carefully reviewing the footage, 9 decides to involve her younger sister Veronica, a tech prodigy who quickly designs a device that mimics the magnetic key's function. With everything in place, the team moves into the final stages of preparation. Event organizers, including Tammy, conduct a last-minute briefing for the staff. Soon, prominent guests begin arriving on the red carpet, setting the stage for the grand event. Daphne Kruger, looking stunning, makes her entrance alongside Rose and Claude, the priceless necklace adorning her neck. Not far from the event, 9 operates her mobile headquarters from a disguised fast food van. On the red carpet, Debbie makes her entrance alongside celebrities from the entertainment and sports industries. Guests mingle, chat with reporters, admire the artifacts, and prepare for dinner. Daphne, Claude, and Rose take their seats while Constance, working as a waitress, keeps a close eye on them. Meanwhile, Lou, stationed in the kitchen, discreetly slips a laxative into Daphne's soup. Hungry and unaware, Daphne eagerly consumes the dish. Constance ensures that all the restroom stalls are occupied, except for one, the one Daphne will need. Midway through a conversation, Daphne suddenly experiences intense stomach cramps. Uncomfortable, she quickly excuses herself and dashes to the restroom. Outside, inside, 9 monitors the surveillance cameras, ensuring Debbie remains in the blind spot. In the stall, Constance approaches Daphne under the guise of helping her. Using a specially designed gadget, she swiftly unlocks and removes the necklace without Daphne noticing. 9 signals Tammy, indicating they have only 10 seconds. Tammy quickly intercepts a waiter, scolding him for carrying dirty dishes and ordering him to take them to the kitchen immediately. As he moves toward Debbie, she distracts him just long enough for Constance to slip the necklace onto the tray among the dirty plates. Back in the kitchen, Lou grows anxious when the waiter gets delayed, chatting in the hallway. 9 alerts Tammy, who wastes no time stepping in. With a firm tone, she reminds the waiter of his responsibilities, prompting him to hurry to the sink. There, Amita is already waiting. She swiftly removes the necklace from the tray, washes it carefully, and then announces she needs a restroom break. In the bathroom, Amita has set up a miniature jewelry workshop where she begins dismantling the necklace. Daphne is questioned by the security team, but she insists she has no idea where the necklace went. She suggests it might have fallen into the toilet, showing little concern for its disappearance. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the guards decide to lock down all exits and conduct a thorough search of guests, staff, and the premises. Meanwhile, 9 watches from her van, enjoying the scene as police and reporters begin arriving at the museum. As Amita carefully continues disassembling the necklace, a security guard approaches her room. 9 quickly alerts the team, prompting Tammy to act fast. She retrieves a replica of the necklace and dramatically pretends to find it in a fountain. Loudly announcing the discovery, she draws everyone's attention, immediately putting an end to the search. Relieved, the guests return to their seats, and the tension in the room dissipates. With the situation under control, Amita completes her work and hands over the dismantled jewelry to Constance. Constance discreetly distributes the pieces to Tammy, Debbie, Rose, and 9, who has already left the van and changed into an elegant gown. As the night progresses, Debbie accidentally runs into Claude and subtly tosses him one of the necklace fragments. When the event concludes, the women calmly exit the museum, each carrying a piece of the necklace unnoticed. Following the heist, the necklace is returned to Cartier. However, an employee soon realizes that the jewelry has been replaced with an imitation. This discovery prompts the insurance company to call in John Fraser, an experienced investigator. Having handled previous Ocean family cases, Fraser thoroughly examines the evidence, interviews numerous people, and ultimately identifies Debbie as a suspect. However, her ironclad alibi, being in plain sight throughout the evening, keeps her out of trouble. While celebrating their success at their hideout, the team is caught off guard when Daphne suddenly walks in. Most of the group is stunned, but Debbie and Lou admit they had brought her in on the plan after she started piecing things together. With Daphne now part of the team, the $150 million must be split among 8 instead of 7. She also warns them that John Fraser is investigating aggressively. Debbie reassures the team, confident in her plan to handle him. To safely sell the stolen diamonds, Debbie and Lou hire elderly actresses to pose as wealthy socialites. With convincing performances, they sell the diamonds at various pawn shops, presenting them as cherished family heirlooms to avoid suspicion. Meanwhile, Fraser shifts his focus to Claude, whom he suspects but lacks sufficient evidence against. Debbie arranges a meeting with Fraser at a diner, claiming she knows nothing about the stolen necklace but revealing that Claude Becker has a piece of it. Fraser suspects this is personal revenge but is more interested in securing enough proof to obtain a search warrant for Claude. To assist, Daphne lures Claude into a romantic evening at his place. Once inside, she ties him to the bed, discovers the planted diamond, snaps a photo, and sends it to Debbie. Debbie then passes it along to Fraser, giving him the justification he needs to take action. The next morning, Claude is arrested. To further cement the setup, the elderly socialites sell their pieces at auction and transfer the proceeds to Claude Becker's company account, making it appear as if he orchestrated the theft. As the team celebrates their victory, Daphne points out that Debbie and Lou earned far less than expected from the jewelry sale. Lou, however, reveals that while security was busy searching for the missing necklace, she and her associate Ian pulled off an even bigger heist, stealing an entire collection from a neighboring exhibit. With Debbie skillfully diverting attention, they managed to take far more than just one necklace. As a result, each team member ends up with a hefty $39 million share. In the final moments, each member enjoys their fortune differently. Amita escapes to Paris with her lover, Rose clears her debts and launches a boutique, Tammy expands her business, 9 opens a billiard club, Constance buys a luxury apartment and becomes a video blogger, Daphne pursues a directing career, and Lou embarks on her dream motorcycle journey. The film closes with Debbie visiting her brother Danny's grave. She sips a martini, reflecting that he would have certainly approved. What did you think of this movie? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.